Hey, what's up everyone? It's Joe from Team Dark Magic Attack here. Today I'm just gonna go over some Dark Magician combos, and like how to play some of the cards here. I've had a lot of friends ask me, hey Joe, how does this work? How does this deck work? You know, what cards should I play? I'm not gonna tell anyone like what cards, you can and can't put in your deck, but I will definitely, show you some of the cards I run to help with this deck. So I'm gonna go ahead and start off with one of the best spell cards in the deck. This is Soul Servant. So basically what this does is it lets you stack a Dark Magician card on top of your deck, and then depending on how many Dark Magician and Dark Magician Girl you control, and I guess if you want to run the Paladin monsters, you can do that as well. And then you can draw, depending on how many you have in the field or graveyard, you can draw up to that number. So I only run a Dark Magician Girl, so I can usually draw up to 2 cards. You can ultimately run the Paladin, Mahad and Mana, but they're just kind of bricks more. Well, Mahad's pretty much a brick, but so you can do that. And then also, like, you can use this to like stack your deck as well, like when you draw, it's like to draw it, like without banishing it. So if you activate something like Dark Magical Circle, what this does is whenever you activate it, you look at the top 3 cards. If you have a Dark Magician or a spell or trap that mentions Dark Magician, you can add it to your hand, and then you can rearrange stuff in any order. And then it has like a banishing effect, but I'll get into that later. So like, you could activate this, and then you can chain this, and then stack your deck. So like, so if you're like, oh hey, I want my Magician Salvation, you'll play Circle, chain that, and then you stack your deck with this. So then whenever, this resolves, you can, get your Salvation. Because like, most of the time, like, you're gonna not hit on this. Very rarely do I ever get a spell or trap, and if I do, it's like always my other circle or something I don't really need at the moment. So you can do that, and it also works with like Upstart Goblin. Use Upstart, chain that, and then put whatever you want on top, and then you can draw. And then one last thing I want to go before, like, if I move on to anything, it also works with the Dark Magicians. Because they have an effect, if a card effect or monster effect's activated once per turn, you can draw a card and set it. So you could do that, and then chain that as well, stack your deck, get whatever you want, draw it, and then set it if you want. So that's it for Soul Servant. Like, there's other things you can do with it too. I'm sorry, my nose is real stuffy. It's getting to be fall weather here, so I'm sorry if you hear me sniffling all the time. But that's Soul Servant. That's probably the best spell in the deck, honestly. Next card I want to go over is Timaeus. So you can special summon him by discarding or from hand or field a spell or trap that mentions Dark Magician or a Dark Spellcaster. Yeah, just a spellcaster. I wasn't sure. I couldn't remember if it was a Dark Spellcaster. But yeah, just a spellcaster or a spell trap that mentions Dark Magician from hand or face up on field. And then he's basically a walking poly. So if you just use your Magician Salvation, this lets you set your Eternal Soul. So I set my Salvation, and then lets me set my Eternal Soul. And then if you just need like an extender or something on the board, or say you have a Dark Magician in hand or whatever, you could just pop that, special him, and then like I said, if you have a Dark Magician in hand, or you can put your rod down, whatever, and then you can poly this for the Dark Magicians, or if you have Illusion, you can get Master of Chaos. You can use these 2 for your Dragon Knight, or if you want to go into Dragoon, so, you know, if you want to protect your back row, or if you just want to go more on the offensive and just, you know, you only get the one pop for Dragoon, but hey, you know, it is what it is. So it's just an easy way to get Dragoon out. So there's that. Also, like, if you have Dark Magician Girl in your hand, like, she's a brick, so she doesn't really do anything in the deck, like, at all, except for, like, draws or, like, discard fodder. So you can even do that. Just discard her and then play that. One other thing is, like, Rod. So Rod has the a special effect, like, in the graveyard. Like, he's your main searcher when you summon him, but then when you activate a spell or trap on your opponent's turn, you contribute a spellcaster, and then you can bring him back to the hand. So, like, if you want to get him into the graveyard and say, like, you know, you don't have another way to get him in the graveyard, you can just, you know, pop him out, get him, and then he's in the graveyard. So then if you activate, you know, this on your opponent's turn, and if you have a spellcaster out on the field, you can tribute them, like Dark Magician or Artemis, which, you know, I'll get into that here in just a minute, but, you know, Artemis, I'm sorry. So yeah, so don't underestimate Rod. Sometimes I kind of forget about it, like if I'm playing, and I do it more than I should just because I'm always focused, but don't ever forget about Rod's graveyard effect. It helps out in a pinch. Especially like if you do have Dark Magician, you can get him back in the grave and stuff like that. Moving on, I did just talk about Artemis. So Artemis doesn't really do anything in the deck except just get Rod into grave. So like if you use your Rod, get your Salvation, set your soul, and then, I don't know, say you special summon something, say you get your, you know, Apprentice Magician, whatever, and then you want him in the graveyard, so then you can, you know, get tribute her, so you can link him off and go into Artemis the next turn, so you activate Eternal Soul, you get your Dark Magician, or if you're running, Dark Magic Attack or 1,000 Knives, then you can tribute her and then bring him back to your hand, so then, you know, next turn you can play him and then grab whatever you need, if you need your secrets or circle or whatever. So there's that combo. I guess I can just go over Apprentice Magician since she's right here. She has an effect where you can discard one card and special her, and then after you special summon her, you can get a Dark Magician from deck to your hand. So, like, if you already have Eternal Soul, or if you already have, like, a Dark Magician in hand or something, and you want them in the graveyard, you can, or even, like, Dark Magician Girl or something, you can just discard them, and then bring her out in the field. And then she also has another effect where she basically becomes an Honest. So if you have a Dark Spellcaster that's attacking or is being attacked, you can, you know, tribute her and then give them 2,000 attack. So, like, that's good, especially, like, if you have, like, her in hand and then you have, like, Dragoon on the field and then someone's trying to, like, attack over them. If they have someone with, like, 3,500 or 4,000 attack or something, you can just, you know, drop her and then a little bit of protection. Sometimes, you know, if you use your negate with Dragoon, sometimes he's kind of like a sitting duck, so if someone has some that powers up a monster to swing over them, this is nice. She's also really good for an extender, so that's really what I use her for. Back in the day when Anaconda was still legal, I mean, like this with Souls, Magician Souls, which, you know, I'll get into that later on, but she was great for an extender, get her on the field to get your Rod, and then, you know, go into Anaconda, rip. But also, I mean, you can link climb into access code, so, like, I'll show you, like, how to do that real quick. So you have these two on the field, you can link off into your Dark. So you get Dark, and then what he does is, I'll just put him right here so you can see. What he does is you can grab a Dark monster from your opponent's graveyard and then put him down wherever he points to. So if your opponent has, you know, whatever, you can put him right here, or, you know, attack. What I think it's in defense. Yeah, defense. So then, like, after that, if your opponent has, like, something really strong that you need to, like, swing over, you can link these off into Selene. And then what she does is she gets spell counters for as many spells and traps. Is it spells and traps, or is it just spells? Just spells. Like, I just wanted to double check before I'm giving you guys wrong information. So she gets spell counter for every spell on the field or graveyard. So that's pretty easy to do since you run a bunch of spells. A lot of people run spells. You can take 3 spell counters off and then special summon a spell caster from graveyard to one of the arrows she points to. So grab one, and then always make sure it's an effect monster. If you're going into access code, like don't bring out your Dark Magician. Just make sure it's Rod or anything, and then you can link this off into access code. And then before I place them, bring them up here so you can read. So you can target you can target a link monster, then he gains 1,000 times the link number. So you usually target your Selene because she's a link 3, so he'll gain 3,000 attack. And then you can banish a link monster from the graveyard and pop or destroy a monster on the field. And so like that's great. So once you get him out on the field, get him to 5,300, and then swing at someone. Like this is also like a good game ender as well. Just swing at them and pap. There you go. Awesome. So that's your basic link climb combo with this deck. It's amazing if you can pull it off, especially if you're just kind of stuck somewhere and you don't know what else to do. Then it gets a bunch of stuff in the graveyard too, so that's always a plus. So you have that resource material getting, Rod in the graveyard or Dark Magician. And then also this card, it should have been a lot better, but for what it is, it's not bad. I guess it lets you set your Eternal Soul, but if you use it for the other effects, so if you have this on the field and then you special summon a Dark Magician, and then if you have Girl in the graveyard, you can target him and then bring her out. So that's also good for link climbing as well. So you can link these off into dark and stuff like that. So that's always good. But I don't really use it for that effect. I mean it helps in a pinch once in a while, but I usually just use it to set my Eternal Soul, and then you can send this off for Magician Souls for some draws or for Timaeus. So, since I mentioned Magician Souls, I'll just go ahead and go right into that. So this is a beast of the deck here. It doesn't look like it does much, but basically you dump a level 6 or higher spellcaster monster to the graveyard, and then you can either special summon this card, or you can special summon a Dark Magician Girl or Dark Magician from graveyard. So once again, if you have this on the field, and say you send your Dark Magician to graveyard, that goes to the graveyard, and then you special summon him, you can bring out Girl. But it's just a good way to get Dark Magician on the field as well, or just in the graveyard just to set up, some plays later on. But not only that, like I said, you can special summon this. So if you have him on the field and you have, this on the field, and say you have an extra Eternal Soul in hand, or even a Soul Servant would be nice. So then you can send those to the grave, and then you can draw up to 2 cards, depending on just how many you discard. So if you just send 1, you just draw 1, but even that's kind of good, because if you don't need this, after you get Eternal Soul and you have an extra one in hand or something, you can just do that and draw 2. This was just a new way, like I said, back in the day with Anaconda, this was the standard combo. Dump Dark Magician or Girl, get these, and then get your Red Ice Fusion or Anaconda, the Red Ice Fusion to send Dark Magician, and get Dragoon. Hopefully Anaconda will come back at some point in time, but that time is not now. Once again, sorry for my sniffles. I'm gonna go over Secrets of Dark Magic. This card, it sucks, but it does have its advantage. The reason why it sucks is just because it's literally just a polymerization card, or you can use it for ritual cards, which, Dark Magician has 3 or 4 ritual cards. The only one I play in the deck is Illusion of Chaos, which Like I have never really summoned Illusion of Chaos, like ever. I think I've done like once or twice. And that was just because I just could. But the only thing I like about this card is that it is a quick play. So the one combo I like with this is, so you got Dark Magician on the field, and then you got, you know, Rod. You attack, you know, your opponent has nothing. You attack with Dark Magician, you attack with Rod. And then since it's a quick play battle, you know, during your battle phase, you activate that. And then you can go into, you know, this attack for game. One of my favorite combos to do is, you know, if I have my board set up, whatever, attack, and then I like, if I have him in hand, I like to fuse this with, to get Master of Chaos. I'm sorry, I had a brain fart for a second. So you can do it because it's a Chaos monster, but whenever he special summon, you can target one light or dark monster in the graveyard and special summon it. So like, you can do that, and then like say if you use like Red Eyes or something, or if you have another Dark Magician, you can just, you know, bring that back so you have an extra body right there. Attack, and then you can banish all cards on the field if I'm not mistaken. Tribute one light and dark monster, banish all opponents' monsters on the field. So yeah, like even if you have like Timaeus in the graveyard, and then you just want to go ahead and just looking for my Timaeus, there it is, because he's a light monster. So say you have Timaeus and Rod or whatever, you can do that, and then attack, banish everything on the field, and attack for game. Give me 1 second, just trying to organize these cards real quick. One of the newer cards I want to go over is a Red Eyes Black Meteor Dragon. So this is one of the newer cards I added, and like I think moving forward I should run some more Xyz monsters in it, because you dump a level 5 or higher vanilla monster, and then you can special summon this, and then he becomes a level 7. So like I was at locals the other week, and like I'm running 2 of these guys, so there's like a million times where I would have him on the field as well as Dark Magician on the field, and like I just kind of felt stuck, because it's like, oh, I could go into Big Eye or, you know, whatever, the Red Eyes, what is it, Red Eyes Metal Flare Dragon or something, and then go into Zeus or something like that. Like I felt like I should have at least one Xyz monster in the deck just so I could do something. But then when he's in the graveyard, you can banish him to get a Red Ice Fusion from graveyard or deck and put it in your hand. So like, this card's amazing. It kind of locks you out, which kind of sucks, but being able to recycle this and just, you know, search it with him is amazing. I was running like Red Eyes Insight and stuff, but I ultimately dropped that down just because it's easy to get out now with this. So there's a combo for that. One other tip or trick I like is I run one Imduk. I did have a Link Spider in here, which Link Spider's cost is just one normal monster. So you can, the only reason why I run him is one, because he's a dragon and an effect monster, so you can always get out Dragoon with him. So if you have Dark Magician and you have your Secrets of Dark Magic, while he's on the field, you know, you can just fuse into him or even the Dragon Knight. So it just really depends on what you want to do. But like I said, I have him mainly just to get rid of Dark Magician on the field. So for example, if I have like Eternal Soul and say I have my Circle combo, because my Circle lets me banish whenever he's summoned. So say I just want to get rid of him and I wanted like an interruption next turn, you can just link him off into him, and there you go. And then like even better, like, you know, if you have Secrets face down or whatever, so then next turn you activate this, there you go. And then say they're, you know, attacking him or whatever, they want to pop one of your back rows or whatever, you can respond with this, and then you can either bring out Dragoon or Dark Magician Dragonite, which, you know, he's considered a Dark Magician on field or graveyard, and then he basically protects your back row. This basically protects all your Dark Magicians. So, you know, this is like the Holy Trinity right there. But then you got Dragoon, which, you know, might be the better option because he has a burn effect for how many vanillas you use. So if you use Dark Magician and Red Eyes, you can pop your opponent's monster, up to 2 of them, and burn them for that damage. And then he has an Omni Negate, and when he negates and destroys something, he gains 1,000 attack. He can't be targeted as well, so like that's good, but then like, you know, you can't equip him with anything, but nobody really plays equip monsters anymore. And he cannot be destroyed by card effects, so there's a little combo right there with Imduk. And then, like I said, I did run a Link Spider as well, but I switched all that up my deck a little bit with to go more of like a super poly kind of deal. So one other thing I just kind of want to go over, I think I got most of the main combos really. I think I went over most of the cards I need to. But Secret Village. So basically, if your opponent doesn't have a spellcaster, they can't activate spell cards. So like this plus Dragoon is like game winner stuff because you got an Omni Negate right here, like I said, and you can burn stuff, but like if your opponent doesn't have a spellcaster, they can't. Like I was playing against Branded Chimera, and I played that. Dude, he did have a dark, and he did have a dark to play, but I got rid of that pretty easy. But that was the only spellcaster he had. So after that, you know, it was pretty much game. And then like Skill Drain works wonders in this deck. Like even if you have like this on the field, now, he'll just be a 3,000 beat stick, but still, it's kind of hard to have a monster that's like over 3,000 attack. I mean, I know there are some, but without effects and stuff like that, like it's very, very rare for the most part. I mean, but also, if you, I've just lost my train of thought here for a second. But yeah, you have your Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, and like I said, like that's pretty much game right there. Yeah, that's pretty much what I run. I do run a Blackluster Soldier of Chaos in the deck. So this helps out late game. You can ban it, like, so if you need 3 different monsters with 3 monsters with different names, but if you use a level 7 monster, you can, you know, use one of these effects, so you can make them gain 1,500, banish a monster, or make a second attack the next turn. It's like this one's pretty nice late game or so, or if you just want to do like, you know, get a monster off the field if you already used your circle effect. So there's that. I didn't really go over Illusion of Chaos, but he's basically your searcher. So basically you use him, find a Dark Magician monster. So, you know, say if you're like, oh, hey, I need to find my Rod, you put your Rod in the hand, and then you can basically put him back on top of the deck, or 1 card from your hand on top of the deck. So like, say if you have like your Red Eyes or Dark Magician Girl or something like you don't need, or if you have 2 circles, you can just put that and keep them for next turn. And so there's that. But yeah, other than that, that's pretty much the deck, and some combos. One last thing I do want to go over, since I'm right here, is I run through these in the deck. Basically, this just lets you add a ritual monster, put it in your hand. So like if you already have Illusion of Chaos in your hand, and you use this to like search your other one, but like this is also like really good bait material. So like if they don't know you have one in hand and they want to stop you from like getting your Magician's Rod or Souls or whatever, like you can use this, see if they'll ash it or whatever. It's happened to me a couple of times. Like I would use this, they'd ash this, and then I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna use Rod and search for something, and then use this, you know, at the same turn. So like I already had it in hand. If I think of anything else, I'll make another video for you guys. But until then, thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any other kind of combos you want me to go with the deck, or if you have any suggestions. I'm all down for it. But until then, yes, I will see you next time. Later, bye.
Dark magic attack!